I'd like to introduce Lorene from Northern Ireland, who takes LDN for Haily-Hailey Disease. Thank you for joining me, Lorene.
Hello.
Could you tell us when you first noticed there was something wrong with your skin?
Yes, it all started back when I was about 23, 24. I was attending the doctor and they were treating me for thrush quite often, and I just knew it was something more than that. But then they didn't really seem to send you to hospital and all, but I was treated for that for a long time. And then what happened was my brother, he got diagnosed with Haily-Hailey, and it was about that started me when I was about 23, so I was about 33, and my brother got diagnosed, and he asked me, he says, Lorene, maybe you should go to the hospital. So I went up then too, and I was diagnosed then with Haily-Hailey as well. And my father had it, but he was treated for dermatitis all his life. But it actually was Haily-Hailey in the end, but he never got diagnosed. So my dad had it, my brother, and my younger sister has taken it too, but it had missed one of my sisters, my older sister. She didn't get anything.
Mm.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know why that happened, it was just maybe just she didn't get the gene or something, or, I'm not sure what happened there, but she got nothing, lucky.
Yes. So could you explain what used to happen to your skin?
Well, when I first took it, it came maybe every so many months. I'd got the blisters and then, the full-blown breakout. But just I'd say the last 10 years of my life, I haven't had a break. It has been horrendous, As I say, when I first took it, I used to get breaks in between. Mm-hmm. But I say the last 10 years, it just was every single day in life. And last year I was hospitalised for 9 weeks and all with it because I couldn't walk.
Mm-hmm. Could you, for people that, don't really understand what Haily-Hailey is, could you explain where the breakouts were,
yeah.
what it was like, what sort of pain you had, that kind of thing?
Yes. Well, it broke out mostly with me, like under my breasts, down in the groin area, under my arms, and right down my thighs, inside your thighs, right down to your knees. And it would have broke out started off like blistery, it's a hard to explain thing, you really have to see it, because it starts off like a blistery thing, but not big bubble blisters the way you would see in a burn. Mm-hmm. Those smaller blisters, but then when they crack open, the skin would open like a flower, like a flower would open up, and it all goes like jagged around the edge.
Yeah.
And it's like inside is raw, and it would crack and bleed, and there's lots of fluid. And then sometimes it goes right through into your inner skin, where your body fluid actually, it comes up in wee bubbles, that's all. Your body fluid coming out, mm-hmm. and it's all wee bubbles of like liquid, which means if you're wearing any clothes, you're absolutely soaking, with the fluid. And then what happens with it, once that takes off into that bad state, you would get maybe 6, 7 infections all going on top of it. Now, I could not pronounce the infections because they're all really big long names. But one of them would be herpes infection, mm-hmm. and yourself. I mean, that is a very, very painful infection. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That would come on top maybe of 4 or 5 different infections. So you cannot realise what kind of pain you would be in with it.
Yeah.
It's really, really severe. And when this happens, you're in bed, you just can't move. Mm-hmm. But I mean, what has been happening with me, that last year was in my 9 weeks, they just couldn't get me healed at all, no matter what. They tried every drug under the sun, and I was having all these bad reactions from the drugs. I was having real bad illness, being sick, run to the toilet. It was horrendous. I mean, the headaches, I couldn't even lift my head off with all these different drugs they were trying me with. And then I heard about all the real bad effects of these, that it can attack your liver, your kidneys, some of the drugs that we're trying is actually put people onto kidney machines because they're that bad, you know. And so I just thought to myself, here's me, I don't want to take these drugs. So I joined the group, the Haily-Hailey group on Facebook. And that's how I found out about the LDN.
Mm-hmm.
Through Cindy and all the lovely people on there. I would be lost without that group, honestly, really, really lovely people. So I found out the LDN because I just couldn't, I was at the end of my tether. I just was crying constantly. I couldn't do anything in life. I had no quality of life because I couldn't even go out. And then what happens with Haily-Hailey too, which is a horrendous thing, is an awful smell comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
With the skin being infected, it would remind you of like a gangrene.
Oh, dear.
You know, and that was another very embarrassing thing of it because, I mean, I was actually frightened to go near people because in case they would have smelled that off my skin, you know.
Mm.
But as I say, the last 10 years I've had a terrible time. And I even now I'm thinking about it, I feel like crying.
Oh.
You know, but that's just the way it made you feel. You know, every time I spoke about it, I was just bursting into tears. But the thing is, I've started LDN now. I'm on LDN now, I think it's 9 weeks. And my whole skin has dried up.
No.
Yep.
Goodness.
See, in below my breast, I couldn't wear a bra there for 2 years. And I have been able to put a bra on.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. It's like, I tell everybody about it because to me, it's like a miracle drug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just don't, I mean, when people told me that this, you know, try this is going to happen, like I had a lot of bother getting it.
Right.
An awful lot of, but my GP wouldn't give me it. And I cried down the phone to her. I said everything. I told her, you want to live one day in my shoes? You know, I said everything to her, and she would not give me it. So only for my doctor, Dr. Corey of the Belfast City Hospital, she seen, I went up to her one day and I was in such a state. She says to me, Lorene, hold on a minute. She says, I'm going to have to see if I can get you this LDN. So she went away, and for some miracle, she phoned up the pharmacist in the hospital, and she explained my situation and all, and they says, well, we could get it in the hospital. So, but the only thing, I feel sorry for her because she's still fighting my case in the hospital. Because I was up 3 weeks ago seeing her, and she took photos and all of my skin, and she couldn't believe the difference. She was like, oh my goodness, Lorene, that is unbelievable. And so she took photos because she has photos from before. Mm-hmm. And she's making up a whole portfolio of me, and she was actually going to a manager's meeting in the hospital that day that I was seeing her, and she was going to fight my case because they are actually, again, protesting about me getting it for HHD or Haily-Hailey because they have only known it being given to people with MS.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So she's trying still to fight my case. Now she says, Lorene, I'm still getting it from the hospital every 4 weeks. I'm still getting the liquid. But she says, hopefully, because I've made up this portfolio of you, of all your before and after, and how well it has changed your skin and your life. She says, so I filled in a whole questionnaire for, you know, and wrote all about my quality of life before LDN. Mm-hmm. And my quality of life now, and I wrote that all out for her, so she's all that in to take it to the managers of the hospital. So I have to see her next week, next Tuesday, and she's going to tell me the result of what happened, you know, in the managers' meeting. But she says, Lorene, you are going to get it because I'm going to fight your case really, really, because you can really see the difference, mm-hmm. You know. And I just think, I don't know why they are not giving out this drug, you know. I know they need to research, that's probably why, but it has really changed my life.
Well, that's unbelievable. Well, all I can say is thank you very much for sharing your such inspirational story with us. And we'll definitely interview you again next year and see how you're getting on.
Oh, that's great, no problem, that's great. It was lovely to speak to you too, Linda.